Welcome back to another episode of Front Row Cinema, a movie podcast for movie lovers by movie lovers. I am your host, TJ Trimboli, and with me, as always, my co-host, I got existential detective in the house tonight, Mr. James O'Reilly.
How's it going?
Going pretty good. I'm looking forward to you telling me all about the meanings of life tonight.
I'm not gonna lie, it's getting murkier and murkier every day, man.
I don't doubt that. And each week we take a
I'm
look at
not detecting much, let's put it that way.
the signals are getting crossed. Each week, we take a look at a different movie from our childhood and we see how well it's aged, along with the hype surrounding the film, its box office analysis, and legacy in the film industry. So, if you enjoy this kind of content, hit that sub button on YouTube, leave that 5-star review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's how you help the channel grow. Jim, what are we watching tonight?
We're watching I Heart Huckabees, man, which is one of the movies I really loved when I was like an angsty teenager, you know? I definitely got into this movie in a big way back in the day.
Oh, that's right. We're doing the 2004 drama I Heart Huckabees, directed by David O. Russell, from a script by him and Jeff Baena, and starring Dustin Hoffman, Jude Law, Lily Tomlin, Jason Schwartzman, Mark Wahlberg, and many, many more. Now, we've got the DVD here, Jim. I was actually shocked to discover that I had this DVD because I absolutely hated this movie when we were kids. I guess we were on different sides of the spectrum when we were in high school. This was your perfect
Yeah,
angsty movie, and I hated everything about this movie. But still had to own it in the collection.
yeah, of course. I mean, this is like not even close to the worst thing that you own that we've done recently. So.
I don't know what you mean, Jim. We got our lovely little log line here on the back, and it reads. An exuberant, offbeat comedy in which Dustin Hoffman and Lily Tomlin play detectives hired by kind-hearted local poet and activist Albert Markovsky to investigate the meaning of three coincidences that could hold the key to life. Yeah, totally. That tracks.
Yeah.
Now you hinted a little bit at your memories of this. Did you see this in theaters, Jim, or when did you come across this movie for the first time?
I didn't see this in theaters. This would have been like a movie channel watch for me because this did get a serious run on the movie channels back in the day. Um, and yeah, I just remember all of my cousins, of which I have many, who are like big like film nerds. And like honestly, like some of the worst kind of film nerds, like 80s film nerds. Although I
Ooh.
take that back because we have way worse than the 80s film nerds nowadays. But yeah, they were all really big into this movie, and like I know I watched it like based on like recommendation, I guess I would say.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't remember exactly when I came across this. I think it's the same thing for me. I don't know if it was a cable watch or maybe my stepdad had this movie and that's why it's in the collection. Because I don't know why I don't see myself blind buying this movie to watch, but maybe I did. But I do remember like watching it in high school and just being like, fuck this movie. And I was interested going back to it this time because I was curious if this was going to be kind of a movie like Signs, where maybe I just didn't have the emotional maturity yet to like see what this movie was trying to do. And that's why I didn't like it. So this was when we said we were going to do this movie, I was excited to watch it despite my complete hatred of it back in the day.
Yeah, I'm honestly kind of interested to see what you think about it this time because I also looked at it like through a very different lens now than I did back then. Like, I think, and this could just be like my frame of mind, but I think a lot of it was less straightforward than I took it for when I was younger. Like, it felt like kind of King of the Hilly in some senses, where like like part of like how Mark Wahlberg and Jason Schwartzman are acting are part of the joke rather than like they're these like towers of like intellectualism. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
if that makes sense.
does make sense. That does make sense for sure. We'll dive
But
into
yeah, I'm
all
interested to see if through a different lens you look at this movie differently because I definitely did.
Oh, I definitely did this time. No, whether that meant I liked it any further or not, we'll come to that bridge. But I think first let's dive into some box office numbers, Jim. Let's see how this movie did in theaters.
Numbers, dates, numbers, numbers, dates, array, dates, numbers. Show me the money.
All right. I Heart Huckabees opens against a $20 million budget, which I don't know. We need to get some more context around these budgets because like some of these I look at them and I'm like, that seems outrageous. And 20 million seems pretty high for this movie to me.
It
I
doesn't
don't
really
know.
do anything that like crazy that would require lots of money. I guess maybe like I wonder if a decent part of this budget just went to the actors because it's like you got some
Yeah.
pretty like Dustin Hoffman probably still getting a pretty penny in 2004. Like Jude Law is kind of coming into the height of his career. Mark
Yeah.
Wahlberg's a thing.
Mark Wahlberg is a thing. Yeah. Naomi Watts is a thing. So yeah, I would guess that that's like cuz like there's nothing really like super special going on in this movie in terms of like filming, right? Like
No, nothing like
um
crazy out of pocket that would require large heaps of cash.
yeah, it's just that this budget specifically is interesting to look at because like there's no way somebody gets $20 million to make this movie today, right?
Oh, no, this movie gets made for like they're like we'll give you 1.5 mil or you don't get to make it.
Right, and it'll come out like in streaming, like it's net like and honestly the real story is like this movie probably just doesn't happen in 2025. Like I don't think it does anyway. That's just my opinion.
Like kind of variations on this type of like existential, like philosophical movies this day. They just look a little different.
Yeah. And it's also interesting too because like this is not going to get a very wide release against that $20 million budget, right? So opening
Doesn't shock
weekend
me.
is October 1st through the 3rd.
Yeah, that wasn't what we
It
were seeing
only
that weekend.
yeah, it only opens on 4 screens, right?
Jesus Christ.
Pulling in a measly $292,000, which
Oh my God.
I don't know, per screen average, maybe that,
Maybe.
but this
That's
also
yeah.
like it just this strikes me as like a very like LA kind of movie, like where people in LA probably would vibe with a lot of the stuff going on. Not really like, like I couldn't imagine like, just your average Iowan like going to the theaters to see I Heart Huckabees and being like, ah yes, this humor is right up my alley. Like, you know
It's
what I
not
mean?
really
Like
like a general audience type of movie. Like it
right.
feels like it serves like a very niche market of people,
It
which makes
feels
it
like
even
it's
more
targeted very
befuddling.
specifically to creators, is how
Yeah,
I would put it. Like,
which
there's
makes it
this
even
weird, like, existentialism that comes with creating things, and I
yeah.
feel like anybody who's written anything has kind of gone on, like, an I Heart Huckabees, like, journey. You know what I mean? Like, of self-discovery.
That makes it even baffling that they threw 20 million at it when they know it's such like you're probably not getting like a big return on that investment.
Right. And so, yeah, so, but again, like, small release, right? Like, and I'm gonna, like, give it away here. It only peaks at 901 screens, is, like, the highest this ever goes.
Yeah, like it's
Which
not
is,
even
again, like,
close
pretty
to
paltry compared to other movies we've done.
that's not even like close to wide release too.
No,
Usually like it's
no.
like
And I mean, it's
around
gonna,
like it's almost like 1500 to 2000 usually is the screens you open up for like a wide release.
yeah, it's not uncommon for us to see movies go above like 3,000, like 3,000
Yeah.
and
Well, that's
change. I
like the
feel like that's
biggest of
pretty
yeah,
regular.
that's like your huge blockbusters, which like this movie would never even sniff, even if it had a wide release.
Right. And so they're gonna kind of roll it out here, right? Like weekend two, famously Indigenous Peoples Day weekend.
Hey.
Don't listen.
I just came
Don't
back
worry.
from Italy. We were they're big fans of Christopher Columbus out there.
I'm just I'm just reading it off the website. Don't shoot the messenger. No, like literally, please don't shoot me. Indigenous
Propaganda.
Peoples Day weekend. It's going to go up to 44 screens. For the holiday weekend, it pulls in just a little bit over $1 million. Down in 12th place.
I mean, that's honestly not a horrible per theater average when you're only 44 screens making a little over a million.
Yeah, I mean, not terrible, I guess. I don't know. We haven't really
But I
looked
mean,
at per
but
screen
but but
averages,
when you
but
spend 20 mil, like
yeah, I mean, like, there's no way this movie's making its money back. And honestly, like, the
no
way
way.
it's getting rolled out, like, I don't think they're expecting to make its money back in theaters, right? Like, this is gonna be like a cult classic. TJ's gonna buy it on DVD, and then we'll probably turn a profit, right?
They're like, listen, if we can get this jazz So you didn't even like the movie to buy it on DVD. We're gonna make a killing, all right?
Yeah, and like how hard, think about it. How many DVDs do you need to sell if you sell them at $20 a pop to make that 20 million back? That's
Oh,
only a million.
don't give me math questions. Come on, come on.
All right, my
You
bad.
can make me think with my brain.
And then I don't really know how to do this because this movie only ever is in the top 10 once.
What?
Yeah, like so far it's been in 12th, right, for Indigenous Peoples Day weekend, which is only in 12th for if you count the holiday. It was in 15th for the Friday through Sunday.
Oh my God. Do we have our first movie that like never spent any time in the top 10 besides its opening week?
I think, well, no, even its opening week, it wasn't in the top 10 because it was only
So
on the fourth screen. It
we might
was
have our first
24th.
movie that never sniffed the top 10 ever.
Yeah, and so weekend three, it's going to be on 65 screens.
It's still
So
going.
slowly but surely rolling out there. I mean, pretty slowly and not so surely, honestly.
Mhm.
Um, that weekend, weekend three, it pulls in under $1 million, 914,000 and some change, down in 12th place.
Jeez.
Finally, in weekend four, it's going to be on 785 screens,
Okay.
just barely cracking into the top 10 with $2.9 million. It's down in 10th place.
Jesus Christ. So, all right. So it gets 1 week. And it's what? What was that? Fourth week, you said?
Yeah, fourth week it hit 10th.
Oof. Oof.
And then it keeps rolling out like weekend five, it's 901 screens, pulls in 1.7 million down in 11th. And then from there it kind of just tails off till it's like not on a lot of screens again. Like it's a
So
pretty uneventful box office. And it's going to finish with the totals domestically $12.8 million. International. You think the international market's going to save the day on this one?
not a shot, dude. You barely have American audiences invested. Like, there's no way this movie translates to like other countries.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like something also like specifically like very first world problemy about this movie and also like um it's like definitely touches on like 9/11 a couple of times. So it's like it's this weird like it feels like it's very specifically made for Americans in 2004 in a way, you know?
I just can't see other parts of the country being like, I don't have time for existentialism, bro. I gotta eat.
Yeah, right, right. Which the movie, I mean, yeah, we'll get into it later. But yeah, international not coming over the hill like Gandalf to save the day here. 7.3 million international for a worldwide
Yo,
total of just a little bit over $20 million.
my God. Yeah, that's not gonna do it. I Heart Huckabee is coming in way far down on the list here in the number 93 spot. Sandwiched in between Eurotrip's 20.8 and above Kung Pao's 16.9. Definitely not the two movies you want to be hanging around in between.
I don't know. I think Eurotrip's honestly like a more interesting comparison there. Because yeah, Kung Pao, no, that was a really bad movie, and it didn't make a lot of movie money because it's really bad. Eurotrip strikes me though, because like obviously they're very different kinds of comedies, but like it seems like that's like not the worst thing in the world for a comedy movie to like make a little bit of your money back and then like kind of catch on in home video and like hopefully make a little bit more there. Because it's also like you called this movie a drama, which I thought was interesting. I never thought this movie was a drama. I thought this was a comedy
But it,
even when we were all the way back in high school.
that's what I had it labeled as.
I think that's so interesting. The
It's like a
when
it's
Louis
like a
Tomlin
dramedy.
like dives into that back seat of that car. Like,
I guess all the existential philosophical musings in the movie like made them just like categorize it as like a drama.
yeah, I mean it feels like kind of like a dark comedy is maybe how I would
Yeah.
put it.
I mean, they
Like
are
I'm trying
pretty.
to think of like other like because I want to say like a David O. Russell kind of comedy, but I'm trying to think of like other funny movies he's made, and I'm like drawing a blank.
I was gonna say, what are you gonna say? American Hustle.
Yeah, I mean that is kind of like a David O. Russell comedy.
I mean, the New York Post on the cover did write "laugh out loud" funny. So
Yeah, you know what? You know what movie it kind of reminds me of in a way that's like not like super accurate, but like it just reminded me of it like a teeny bit.
Wow.
That fucking what's that Coen Brothers movie, Burn After Reading? Like it reminded me of
Yeah.
that, like where it's just like a mess of people like getting into like kind of silly situations. And there's definitely some like dark undertones to it, but for the most part it's just like kind of silly.
It's like a dramedy,
Yeah, sure. Let's go with dramedy.
for lack of a better term. We'll go with dramedy. But yeah, and then critically, didn't do too bad. 63% from the critics, 75% from the audience, 6.5 from IMDb, and surprisingly, this movie did not have a cinema score. I was shocked at that.
I'm not that surprised because it doesn't seem like many people actually went to see it.
Yeah, but while we didn't have a cinema score, we do have some user reviews.
I bet. I bet. I'm sure there's some divisive ones on this. Again, assuming
Let's
anybody even saw
let's
it.
find out, Jim. Our first user review over on the one side. They write, this movie was painful to stay and watch. What a waste of a great cast. I can't believe that as of 348 votes, it somehow got an average rating of 7.5. I'm hoping that after more actual viewers cast their votes, a more reasonable rating for this film will evolve. I mean, did the studio or some other entity somehow stuff the early ballots on this picture? I looked it up, and out of the 348 ballots, 140 of them were perfect 10 scores, far surpassing any other of the choices. That's over 40% giving this turkey a 10. Something is very fishy about this rating, how it was
Oh.
obtained, and frankly, it motivated me to finally register so that I could cast a ballot against it.
You know, when we look back at IMDb, like it's really amazing how the underpinning of like just not trusting votes and
Voter
opinions
registration.
is like it was just right in front of us the whole time,
God,
like
who knew? Who knew that voter fraud really began with the IMDb rating system back in the
yeah.
2000s?
And like there was I'm willing to bet there was somebody on the steps of the Capitol like at some point, and I'm not gonna say a specific date, but who is sitting there on the steps of the Capitol like, you know what? I've been rallying about this since IMDb back in 2003, and finally we're making some progress.
Really, my voice is heard. This has been on the referendum for decades.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my lord. We got another one star here, Jim. And they write, go do something else. If you enjoy a movie with no plot and is a heap of plotting silliness, this is for you. 10
Yep,
lines
I
of
do.
input for this piece of shit movie. More wasted time. Too bad so many great actors wasted their time on this drivel. Too bad the folks working at Harkins had to waste their time cleaning up the theater after the audience wasted their time watching this movie. I wasted $6 to get into the movie and proceeded to waste another 10 at the concession stand. There was 20 other people in the theater with me. That's a collective waste of 40 hours. Would society have benefited if we spent those 40 hours differently? I wasted gas getting to this movie, people. Gas!
Turns out, no. Society would be exactly the same no matter what you did. Actually, like you could do
Imagine
whatever you want. Spend your 40 hours doing anything.
imagine if we went back in time and realized that like where society pivoted and all this horrible stuff that's been happening lately is because those 20 people went to go see I Heart Huckabees in 2003 at
Right,
the Harkins.
right. Imagine.
We need to go back and get them to collectively spend those 40 hours elsewhere, and it will reset the
Yeah.
time continuum.
I mean, honestly, why didn't they cure cancer? Is my question. Like, I mean, with 40 hours, you could do anything, right?
You
You
could do a
guys could have
lot.
just put your minds together.
Could have done a lot of stuff back then.
And like, at what
Um,
point are they culpable for not stopping after the first 20 minutes and being like, guys, we're wasting a collective 40 hours here.
no, no,
let's
no. He
let's
had
do
all
something that helps people.
this man had all the opportunity in the world to stand up and let his voice be heard, and he didn't. He just sat there and let himself like toil in his hatred. And we got one 10 star here, Jim. And they write. My friend and I went to see Huckabees, not expecting much more than a pleasant, light-hearted comedy with a great ensemble cast. We were both pleasantly surprised. I love Huckabees. It's delightful and clever. I noticed the post from someone who said that anyone who likes this film is stupid. I find her comment to be incorrect and wrong on so many levels. My friend and I are both very literate and cultured, creative and successful at what we do. No one who knows us would call us stupid, and we both like this film immensely. I give it a 10, not because I feel it is the greatest film ever. I just wanted to up the rating because some folks gave it a 1. Actually, if we were really, truth be told, I'd give it an 8.9.
Oh no.
See, this is
Just
what the voter guy was talking about.
yeah, just say your heart, man. You don't gotta try and like you don't gotta try and adapt the rating for like people rating it too low.
This is a very cultured, creative, and successful person here, Jim. All right, they knew what they were
Yeah,
doing.
I was like, that guy was so cooking, or that person was so cooking until they were like, "Hey, I'm not stupid." And it's like, why would you ever take that person online seriously?
All right, like
Like,
you
you
read a
might
one
be
star,
stupid if you're like engaging in that.
you read a 1 star review, and you were like, "Hey, I'm not that." It's like, well, then it's not for you, idiot. Oh god.
Oh
Oh
boy.
man, gotta love the IMDb user reviews. All right, Jim, let's turn it over to us now. Let's see how our thoughts have changed since this first time watching this movie.
Yeah, so first of all, I still think it's hilarious. I still think like basically anytime Lily Tomlin and Dustin Hoffman are on screen, I'm like busting out laughing. I think they're so funny. Especially like the physical comedy. Like I mentioned it earlier, when Lily Tomlin just like face first dives into the back seat of that lady's car and then is like she's like huddled like in the blankets in the back like taking notes while the lady like scarfs down an ice cream cone is like my favorite thing. It's so stupid. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think this is like a really good dark comedy. And like what I was kind of getting into earlier, when I was younger, I took this much more like, yeah, like the idealistic guys are like the best, and like it's so crazy that the world like isn't like listening to them and blah blah blah. And then like it's kind of like a cool like in the end they sort of win like a little bit. But I think that like part of the point of this movie is that Mark Wahlberg and Jason Schwartzman are just clowns. Like I think that that's like a real big part of the movie, and I'm curious to see what you thought about it this time around.
I continue to hate it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I still didn't like this movie. I couldn't find a beat on this movie to enjoy. And I don't disagree with like what you were saying here for about this movie. I just think that as his execution, like I think there's scenes within this movie, like you said, that has some good physical comedy and that I do enjoy moments in this movie. But throughout the whole of it, I could not get a beat to actually like invest myself in anything in this movie. And I think
Yeah.
my issue with it is just that like it feels just like it's trying to be it's like it feels like it's just trying too hard. Like
Okay.
none of the characters to me really feel like they are authentically actual characters at any point. Like it break like I can never really get immersed in the movie. I feel like it feels like everyone's in on the joke and everyone's trying to be too clever within the movie. Like it's just
Yeah.
like it the whole time I was watching it, I was like, this movie feels like it's so far up its own ass, like trying to be like so like witty and like philosophical in its existentialism that like watching it now as an adult that I'm just like, this just feels so surface level, like into the themes of like what it's trying to say.
Yeah, see, and I definitely like when I was younger, I definitely thought it was more like exactly what you just said, like where it was like very far up its own ass, and like I was like 16, I was probably up my own ass too, you know what I mean? Um, like, and I definitely like, but this time around, I really thought that like, um, the guy, like, I thought the characters were at the very least like interesting, even if they were kind of like, I agree they were probably like caricatures a little bit, like the angsty guy who's trying to save the marsh, but not because he really cares about the marsh, just because he wants to like force people to listen to his poetry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I thought that was so funny this time around. Because it's like, oh yeah, this guy's just like a giant douchebag who's like so self-obsessed and like self-absorbed, and really he just wants attention. Like that's the reason he's doing any of this. And like I thought that that was like way interesting because I didn't really think of him like that the first time I watched it. The first time I watched it, I was like, oh yeah, this is like this guy's fighting the good fight. And it's like this time around, I'm like, well, no, he's not really fighting the good fight at all. Like the only reason he's getting into slap fights with Brad from Huckabees is because like he won't let him read his poems. Like, which is
Yeah,
like
like he's just a
he maybe
selfish
could have
individual.
if he had just been like, maybe we shouldn't trust the guy from Huckabees, they probably want to build the houses. Maybe more people would have listened to him if he wasn't like reading poems about like meadows and shit, you know?
Making it all
Um,
about himself.
yeah, and then same thing with Mark Wahlberg too. Like the petroleum stuff felt a lot more like activisty like in 2004 than it does now. Now it just feels like, oh yeah, I remember when they were assholes like that back in 2004. Like nothing Mark Wahlberg said was like meaningful throughout like the whole movie in terms of like oil and petroleum and like to me the whole point like was that those were flaws those guys had in the beginning of the movie. They were like so like focused on things that were like, you know, not what they should be focused on. Like again, like Jason Schwartzman's like very self-absorbed and he's really just looking for attention rather than anything. And Mark Wahlberg's like way too focused on the big picture when it's like you can't live your life that way because like if you always focus on the big picture, like one, you can't do anything about it. And two, like you're just going to be miserable and sound like a crackpot all the time. You know what I mean? And like I kind of liked it differently this time around, where it was like, oh yeah, by the end, like they kind of both realized that that was not a good way to be in the beginning, you know? And like Mark Wahlberg's kind of like, you know, he finds like somebody he vibes with a little bit more and like, you know, it could like kind of like help him get his life back on track. And like, yeah, they're still going to chain themselves to bulldozers and stuff, but you know, like they're like at least like more complete people by the end of it. And I also like that Brad totally gets got.
Oh, he gets what? What did you say?
He totally gets got, Brad. One
Oh
of my
yeah.
favorite scenes in that movie is when like he like loses it, like when he realizes that he tells the Shania story over and over again, and then goes
Maelstrom.
into the boardroom and they're like, "Come on, Brad, tell the Shania story." But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was like I agree with you that they're kind of caricatures. Like I agree with you that it's not very deep and it's all very surface level. But I think it works for this movie. I would also agree that there's not really like a very consistent plot throughout the movie. Like it is kind of like bounces around a lot and like kind of like picks up and puts down threads like as it sees fit, which I definitely could see where that's annoying. But again, I think it's kind of perfect for a movie that's like about like an existential journey. You know what I mean?
I guess just to me, throughout watching it, especially when I like, because everyone, when you watch a movie, like, it's a movie, but you're trying to buy into the fantasy and the immersion. And I guess throughout the entire time watching this movie, it always, like, every bit of dialogue and just the functionality of it always just felt so mechanical. Like it was just
Yeah,
all a structure of the script instead of feeling organic in a manner. So
yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I think
so,
you're
so
pretty
that's
much
why it
hitting
was
the
like
nail
such a hard beat for me to like jam on anything in this movie, just because it's when it just consistently reminds me of the function of the script. It's just like I can't really enjoy anything in this movie. Which isn't to say that like there are like the performances are all good. Like they're all great in it. Like I still think everyone, even Mark Wahlberg, is like surprisingly like decent in this movie.
on. Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
But it's just like, yeah, just the whole time I was watching it, I was just like, dude, I was like from the get go, I just couldn't like land a beat on it, and it would just
But
like
like you don't think Mark Wahlberg's like funny throughout this movie? Like nothing he does makes you laugh. You're saying?
no, I
Because
said
like
there's
I think that like
moments.
he carries a lot of the middle of this movie just acting like a totally unhinged. I think it's so fucking funny.
No. There's moments and scenes in this where like individual scenes like are like solid. Like I like the scene when they sit down to a meal with Steven and his family, and
Yes.
he gets into it with Richard Jenkins about like petroleum and everything.
Yeah.
Like that whole dinner scene is very funny at
Yeah.
times. And I
When
think
he's
Mark
like,
Wahlberg
God
especially.
gave me petroleum. Why
Yeah,
wouldn't
he's
he
like,
want
why
me
would
to
he?
use it?
Or when he's like, I'm a firefighter, and they're like, oh, thank God for what you do. He's like, I'm not a hero.
Yeah, yeah. But no, like they're like one of the funniest parts of the movie to me, by the way, too. Like the family, like just like the like cookie cutter like middle American family. You know what I mean? Like they just believe in God and like fucking like like getting autographs. Like, I thought like
Deep cut Jonah Hill in there too. Early
yeah,
Jonah
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hill.
Like like still kind of pudgy, but not quite like grandma's boy fat Jonah Hill. Like
Yeah.
he's like
That's
pretty crazy that he's in
early
there.
days Jonah Hill right there.
One of my favorite movie quotes, by the way, which is like such a deep cut, and I've probably said this and like just like nobody realized what I was talking about. When he pulls out the phone and is like playing the game, and he's like, "I just made it to the Omega level," and like does like the little like dap up to his sister. It's so great.
Yeah, but it's funny that it's very like having just watched this movie, I just went to the theater with Heather to go see this new movie that came out, A Big Bold Beautiful Journey, which is a movie
Uh,
with Colin Farrell and Margot Robbie that just came out. That reminded me a lot of this movie, where
oh,
it's just
interesting.
this like it's like this existential story about like finding your place in the world and like overcoming like your like issues within it to find like a spot to be content. But it plays the exact same way as watching this movie, where the whole time you're watching it, everything they say doesn't feel organic and it just feels like a function of like the script. And I wonder if it's just because
Yeah,
like it's a hard to authentically pontificate on stuff like this. Like it's
yeah.
just
Like existential journeys don't really lend themselves to being made into like feature length films. Is how I would look at it. Like
yeah,
they're not something that gets like sorted out like in an hour and a half in a clean way. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
um, which like I don't know. I haven't seen that movie you're talking about with Margot Robbie, but
It's
like
horrible.
I think
Don't see it.
I probably wasn't going to,
It's
so no
horrible.
worries there. But like I think it's interesting because like I think that one of the things this movie does well, and one of the things I'm saying why I think the plot being kind of like crazy doesn't bother me as much or like disjointed is because it I feel like it does kind of like in a very short amount of time like I at least believe in like the Jason Schwartzman thing where like he's like made his bed and he's like sleeping in it and then he goes to like this really dark place and he's like he's like basically just like in the middle of that movie like fucking his way through depression, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all of that stuff feels like very reasonable to me and like all like things that could happen while you go on that journey for yourself where you hit high points, you hit low points and like none of it really makes sense or is like very linear, you know?
Yeah.
Um
Just always interesting how they have to take that kind of approach when dealing with that theme of existentialism. Because in I Heart Huckabees, it's the existential detectives, and in A Big Bold Beautiful Journey, they use the two of them just finding random doors in like forests that they go through, and it leads them to like that place and time that they need to go back to
oh,
relive.
interesting.
So it's like it's always so like it's interesting how they have to come up with these kind of like quirky, fantastical things to kind of explore the theme of existentialism. And
Yeah.
and every time it seems that it seems to be too mechanical, despite the like
I just
quirkiness of it.
yeah, and like that's I don't know. I don't know if I would say it's like mechanical in this movie. I don't know if I would agree with that. I think that like I think the idea of an existential detective is so interesting to me, and it's like definitely one of the things that hooked me on this, even like way back when, because it's like they're basically just therapists, but like they're forcing you to be honest by spying on you all the time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like there's no boundary there, and like I don't know, I just like I thought it was interesting, like the way that it plays out in this movie, because it really is just like a bunch of people like you could have just gone to therapy. Like that this is all like the whole point of therapy is like figure out your shit so you can be like a better part of society, you know?
Yeah.
Um but I think it works really well with Dustin Hoffman and Lily Tomlin, who again I think are both like hilarious throughout this whole movie. Like the way they're like so dismissive of people and like the way they like talk like I don't even know how to explain it. Like the way they like it feels like a lot of the time they're like talking past people like where they're like dismissive of people like where it's like no you don't really know what you're talking about just get in the bag Jason Schwartzman like it's gonna be fine you know
Yeah.
um but then they're also competent. Like when Brad, like they knew the whole time that Brad was like a real piece of work, you know, and like, but they were like, they're still gonna solve the case, you know. Like I think they're one of like the strong suits of the movie. Honestly, I really do.
Fair. And I could see that. It's it's honestly it's insane to see the product that would come out for this movie, considering how insane David O. Russell is. Did you ever see the video for this movie? The behind the scenes where like he fucking
No,
like loses it on Lily Tomlin like while they're like shooting.
no,
Yeah, I forget.
no.
Yeah, I think they're like filming it and like the two of them get into like a screaming match because like he doesn't like the way she's doing it and she doesn't like the way he's talking to her and he just fucking blows up and I'm pretty sure he calls her a cunt.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta look up that video. It's like a behind the scenes thing. I wonder if they put it on the DVD. So watch David O. Russell call Lily Tomlin a cunt. Nope, it's not one of the bonus features.
Oh, they made up though. Look, they made up.
Yeah, of course, classic Hollywood. Oh, we come together afterwards. Tensions were high. We're trying to make art here, people.
Yeah, I do see the video. I don't know that I want to play it on here,
Oh no.
but I do see there's a 2 minute and 18-second video
Yes,
of
watch it.
Lily
Watch it
Tomlin
on.
and David O. Russell fighting on the set of I Heart Huckabees.
Yeah, watch it afterwards. It's a revelation. It's a great
Yeah.
time.
I also I also think like part of what sticks with me about this movie, and I think it even sticks with me like probably even more so today, like with the benefit of like 20 years having passed, is like I think it lands kind of existentially, like where I feel like South Park lands a lot of the time, and I feel like is like generally like a good way to look at things, which is like the extremes of things are not great. Like, they're like really bad places to be. And if you find yourself on those extremes, you can find yourself blind to things that are common sense because you're like constantly surrounded by the extreme and it feels very normal. So like I kind of like that part of it, like where he goes from the extreme of like everything's connected to the extreme nihilism of the other lady, and then at the end he's kind of like, oh yeah, you're both kind of wrong. Like sometimes like something doesn't matter, and sometimes it does, and that's okay. You know, like
That doesn't sound prescient at all.
yeah, right,
Can't see anywhere where I would use that in my real life right now.
right. I also think like it's really interesting because like each of the characters in this movie I feel like in one way or another is getting like chewed up and spit out by like corporatism, you know what I mean? And like I do kind of like that side of it too, where like, you know, even like what's his name, the sales executive is like the corporate environment has turned him into such a fake piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like
Uh,
and he like goes along with it because he's so afraid he's going to be like his brother instead of like what the corporate environment wants him to be, you know? And
no,
when he's confronted with it, he's like, actually, yeah, I fucking hate myself. Like, I hate coming here every day. It's a really terrible place to be. You know what I mean? Like, I like that part of it.
I know, and I feel that, and it definitely that hits. I like that, and I don't necessarily dislike the direction or the themes of what it's stating within this movie. Like everything you're saying, I totally get and can get down with and agree with. It's I think just the biggest hurdle for me was just the execution of trying to do that. Like this just wasn't like hitting me to keep me invested, if
Yeah,
that makes any sense.
it's not like an all-time classic movie. It's
Yeah.
not. Like, it doesn't hit enough of the right, like, I don't know. I'm kind of with you in the sense that I'm never really, like, super invested in what's happening, I guess is how I would put it.
Yeah. Feel it. I will say I hated it a little less than I hated it when I was a kid.
The fact that Jason Sportsman was putting pictures of himself in the photo, it's so fucking funny. Like,
So silly. So silly. Uh
dude, there's so many like little parts of this movie that are like I don't know that people would even notice them, but like I think they're like the funniest thing in the world. Like when they're like playing like what was that game they were playing?
I don't
Monaca or whatever.
I don't remember.
But they're like playing And Mark Wahlberg's like, yeah, I'll create a distraction and you go back and get your file, right? And so they do the plan, and Jason Schwartzman gets his file, and like some random dude comes in and is like, hey, what are you doing here? And he's like blows it off. And then they go back into the main party, and the guy's like, security breach. He looked at his file. Like the guy like totally rats on him. I just think the way that that guy like delivers those
Delivers the
two
line.
lines is like the funniest fucking thing in the world to me. Like he's so robotic about it, and
Yeah.
it's just like this guy's not been in the movie. We don't know who he is or why he cares so much that Jason Schwartzman looked at his file, but like just the way he rats him out just cracks me up. I'll never not
Man,
laugh at that.
that man had one line to deliver and he was going to deliver it, baby.
Yeah, he did it perfect. He did it perfect.
It's having seen the majority of his filmography, this feels like an outlier in Mark Wahlberg's career.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh
agreed. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, it's certainly before he started making movies like Patriot Day, right?
Oh yeah. Or the excellent classic from earlier this year, Flight Risk.
Oh yeah, how
A
could I forget Flight Risk?
true
Like,
beacon of cinema.
movie. I that the balls that they had trying to convince me that that premise was interesting. It's like that movie should be 8 minutes long. They should either like put him back in handcuffs or they should crash into a mountain. End of story. Like
No, Jim. We had 80 more minutes after that.
the unmitigated gall of them pretending that that was a feature length movie. Just unbelievable.
Another classic from Mel Gibson.
But yeah, I don't know. Let's take a look. When do let's check out Mark Wahlberg's filmography here.
Marky Mark.
Let's. I don't really have much else for the movie, but I
Marky
am
Mark.
kind of
Yeah, I don't
interested
have
in the
much else for
premise
the
that
movie.
you just threw out.
Mark, yeah, the outlier market. Well, because like he did, he busts out onto the scene big with Boogie Nights. Definitely a big auteurs movie. But for the most part in this man's career, very heavily based on big action spectacles, being from Boston, and yeah, those are his two wheelhouses.
Yeah, I think the interesting
And
connection
actually, no,
here.
he did have a good he did have a good like mid 2010s career of doing like comedies too.
Yeah. I mean that's fair. So it's interesting, right? Because I'm trying to think here. Like the first thing that jumps out at me
Here's
is
some
he's also
classics.
in the David O. Russell movie Three Kings.
Okay, so that tracks. So he worked with David O. Russell before, so that probably sets precedent.
Right. And I mean, you brought up Boogie Nights. How could you pass over the 1998 classic, The Big Hit?
Just stop it.
It's like
Stop
I
yourself right now.
no, I'm not gonna stop myself because I implore anyone out there who's not seen The Big Hit to just watch The Big Hit. Like it's like
Oh
one of
man.
the few things that I've seen from the 90s that I just literally can't believe it happened. Like it's mind-blowing to me that people made that movie, that like it exists,
Yeah,
that
that
he's
was
like a grown-ass hitman like scamming on a high school girl the whole movie. Like
yeah, I remember
and
I
she starts.
that was such a movie when we watched it. Jim, also like you're gonna skip over his excellent turn as the villain in the psychological thriller Fear.
Well, you started at Boogie Nights. Fear, I think, came out
I
before.
said Boogie Nights is where he exploded onto the scene. I didn't say he wasn't
I
already on the scene.
I see. Yeah, I mean, Fear was. I mean, I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but isn't that kind of like a Ben Affleck started taking steroids in high school kind of movie? Like it feels like a very much like a Lifetime movie to me.
Here? No.
That's the one where he's like the boyfriend, right? And he turns into out to be crazy.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
For Ben Affleck being in that movie? Or you just mean
No,
it's like
not.
akin to a Ben
I just
Affleck?
mean it's like an after school special kind of movie,
Okay,
like
okay,
where you're
okay,
supposed to watch
okay.
it in high school and be like, ah, your boyfriend might be crazy. Like, keep an eye
Okay,
out.
okay. All right,
Like,
all right, all right.
it's
Yeah.
like the Ben Affleck movie they made us watch in health class where they're like, I don't know,
Oh
steroids might
yeah,
not be
where he's like
all
taking
sunshine and
steroids.
rainbows. Like,
He starts dating Reese Witherspoon. And he turns out to be a violent sociopath.
yeah, right. It feels like an after school like kind of movie.
Almost like when Mark Wahlberg was just hanging out in Boston. They found him out to be a violent sociopath.
Yeah, he also did the
Allegedly.
Basketball Diaries, which I don't know if he was in that movie a lot. I haven't seen that in a long time either, but that's a
He's
great movie, the Basketball
credited.
Diaries.
He's got a name in it. He's credited as Mickey. So
Oh no, he's one of the dudes on Leo's basketball team, like for
is he one
sure.
of the
Like he's
pages in
one
the
of the like
diary?
yeah, he's
He
got a
plays
couple of
page
pages. Yeah.
3 in the diary.
He's I know he's on the basketball team and he gets into drugs with Leo. I'm just not sure like that's like kind of a long movie if I remember correctly, and I think a lot of it is like Leo just being like a drug addict like on his own if I remember. But it's been a while. But yeah, so like where does the turn happen here, right? So we have Three Kings. Um in the early 2000s, I mean, obviously we've talked about Planet of the Apes. Rockstar, I don't think is quite that different from I Heart Huckabees, right? It's not quite like action hero Mark Wahlberg.
No, not yet.
I am
I
going to
guess
point at two movies here
are we
that I
looking at
think really make the transition. Maybe three movies
the
actually.
Italian Job?
So yeah, the Italian Job's the third one I added on there.
Okay, okay.
But 2004, he's in I Heart Huckabees. His next movie after that,
Yeah.
Four Brothers.
Yeah, absolutely.
He has like a really big 2006 with The Departed and Invincible, but it's really the shooter is the one, right? Like that's where it's like Mark Wahlberg feels like an action star now and not like an actual actor. So I
Yeah,
guess
I
how
can
I
see
would
that.
put it.
Yeah, it's 2000 to Shooter and We Own the Night.
Yeah, We Own
Definitely
the Night is that feels like a remake of that movie, The Yards. You ever see the movie The Yards?
Yards, like the Mark Wahlberg movie The Yards from 2000.
Yeah, yeah, The Yards. It's like him and Joaquin Phoenix, just like in We Own the Night.
So you just made that movie twice.
It's not the same exact movie, but like tonally, like the aesthetic feels very similar, if
Yeah,
that makes sense.
does. And I could see where maybe this turn here in 2007 is going to stick because then the next year he does The Happening. He's going to get brutally lambasted for that movie. So maybe from there he realizes like I should just stick with my wheelhouse.
That's the
Is
one
it?
where he's like, "What me? No!"
Yeah,
It's like,
where like the trees are killing people and they have him go up to like a ficus plant and be like, just just be cool, man. Like if you be cool, I'll be cool. Like
yeah. But then after the happening, Max Payne
yeah, which is like
definitely.
that's definitely fits in that action like wheelhouse, but that movie is also fucking horrible.
But see, then he turns back though. I mean, I don't know who he was in The Lovely Bones. I know that's not like an
He's the
action movie though. That's like
he's the
then
dad. He's the dad.
he's
But
in.
he wasn't originally supposed to be in the Lovely Bones. So that could be an outlier also. He was someone that was called in to take the place of Ryan Gosling because they fired Ryan Gosling from playing the dad. Did you ever hear
Uh,
that story?
no.
Amazing. So they hire
What did
Ryan
he get
Gosling.
fired for?
So they hire him to play the dad in The Lovely Bones. Ryan Gosling reads the book, decides that the dad in this should be like a middle-aged dad who's got like a pot belly and everything. So Ryan Gosling puts on like 45 pounds to have this dad bod and fat face to play the dad, shows up
Go
to film, and Peter Jackson's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, and they fire him because they're like, you don't, that's not what I want. Like, you don't, like, you're this fat, overweight dude. Like, that's not what I want. So they fired him and they brought Mark Wahlberg in.
That's a pretty crazy thing to like not even check with the director about. That's a pretty crazy thing. Like,
Like,
like
I'm
at
gonna
no
go.
point was Ryan Gosling's agent like, I don't know, maybe we should give Pete a call and see what he thinks about this.
He's like, no, he's gonna love it, dude.
Yeah, before you just like gain 40 pounds, Ryan Gosling. Like,
They're like Gosling. Maybe if they're hiring you, I think they might want heartthrob Ryan Gosling. I think that
yeah,
might
to
be what
his
they're looking
point
for.
though, to his point, I don't know. I feel like heartthrob Ryan Gosling kind of steals the show in a movie like The Lovely Bones.
So maybe he knew like he's not the focus. He was like, I need to be not hot Ryan Gosling so that I don't steal the focus from the movie.
Yeah, that's the coolest Ryan Gosling story I've ever heard,
It's
honestly.
amazing. Ryan
My
Gosling
respect level for him just
yeah,
went through the roof.
continues to be an
It's like
absolute
not only
legend.
did he do it, but he was like, "No, this is what the character needs. I'm gonna do
Yeah.
it. I'm not asking anybody. I'm just doing it, baby. What are they gonna do? Fire me?" Like,
The answer was yes.
yeah.
Yeah, but then so
Oh
after
man.
that is really where you see Mark Wahlberg like settle in here. Because you got movies like Date Night, Contraband, Broken City, Pain and Gain, Two Guns, Lone Survivor. Like this really starts to highlight the 2010s for him.
See, I don't know. I still think he's doing more comedy. Like Ted is mixed in here. Date Night is like a
The
Steve
other
Carell,
guys,
Tina Fey movie. The other guys, yeah. Like he's still mostly doing comedies. And then it's not until we really go off the rails when like Pain and Gain and Two Guns come out in the same year, and then Lone Survivor. Like, I think Pain and Gain might be the real tipping point here.
real to you. Bro, you just skip over Broken City right there in that year. His
What even
2013
is
is
Broken
really
City?
settling into this. You got Broken City, which is a crime thriller with him and Russell Crowe. You got Pain and Gain. You got Two Guns and Lone Survivor. He puts all four of these out in 1 year. That's entirely too
Yeah,
much action,
like,
Wahlberg.
this is for Broken City, but like, it feels like this could be the line for any Mark Wahlberg movie made in the last like 10 years. In a city rife with injustice, ex-cop Billy Taggart seeks redemption and revenge after being double-crossed by its most powerful figure, Mayor
Yep.
Nicholas Halstetler.
There we go, baby.
Right? That
There you
feels
go.
like it could be any Mark Wahlberg
Yeah.
movie. Like we're like one step away from them being like, we gotta shut down all the bridges for it to be like, what was that movie? No, he wasn't in 16
That movie,
Bridges.
21 Bridges, and that movie's an absolute classic. We got 21 Bridges in and out of Manhattan. Close them.
Yeah, right,
Shut
right.
them down.
Like, great, like that movie's like one step away from like, listen, Mark Wahlberg, he's gotta walk. What was that one with the like it's like 20 mile 22? That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
He's
we'll
gotta
get
walk
there.
22 miles to get to the end of the thing. Uh-oh, how's he gonna
Yeah.
do it?
And as if Mark Wahlberg couldn't level up this four movie run in 2013, he comes back in 2014 with Transformers: Age of Extinction. Like, please
Yeah.
stop, sir.
Which amazingly not the worst Transformers movie he does, because The Last Night
Yeah,
is so
yeah.
bad.
Although, I mean, Age of Extinction definitely distinct for its use of the statutory rape card in its film.
Yeah, I mean, right. It'll be forever remembered. Yeah. And then I'm not gonna lie, he comes back in a big way in Uncharted.
All right, all right.
Totally like
You
milk
skipped
toast, forgettable Tom Hardy and Mark
you
Wahlberg
you
vehicle
you skipped
Uncharted.
over so much nonsense just to get to your Uncharted.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, it's obviously better than Spencer Confidential.
God, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a thing.
I mean, we did skip over Instant Family from the guy who made Sex Drive.
Oh, classic right there. Coming out in the same year as Mile 22. There's your plug. And who can forget his fantastic turn in All the Money in the World?
Oh yeah. Wait, who was he in that movie? Was he like the main guy in that movie?
He wasn't he the guy that they called in to like help them get the kid back and like make the deal?
Dude, I haven't seen that in forever. That was a pretty good movie.
I
I
remember
just
we
don't
saw it.
remember
We
Mark
saw it
Wahlberg
when it
being in
came
it
out
though.
in theaters. Oh no, he's the advisor for the Getty family. So he's like, I guess, helping them through all the turmoil.
I remember the kid who played like the younger John Paul Getty, like the kid who got kidnapped. I remember Michelle Williams from that movie was really awesome.
For
I
Kevin
remember
Spacey.
Christopher Plummer
Oh,
and nobody else besides Christopher Plummer.
hey, you're not going to Mandela me on this one. Yeah, but just a fucking what a varied filmography here of movies.
Yeah, I'm honestly like pretty surprised because I thought he settled into it a lot earlier than he actually did.
I mean,
Like
honestly,
he was
looking at
still
it,
like
it really
pretty
doesn't
varied up until like 2015 or so.
honestly really doesn't go off the rails until you get to COVID. Like if you look at his filmography from COVID on, it's horrific.
I mean, I guess, but if you look at it from let's just pick a name out of a hat here. If you look at it from Patriots Day on, it is also
Hey,
horrific.
hey. Daddy's
I
Home
know you
2.
love
Daddy's
Daddy's
Home
Home too.
Daddy's Home 2
I
is a
know.
goddamn classic, all right?
But like, let's take out Daddy's Home 2 and Instant Family because I am not gonna lie, I kind of enjoyed Instant Family.
I like Instant Family also. I think that is also a good
Yeah.
movie.
So like outside of those though, he's got Patriots Day into Transformers the Last Night. All the money in the world's in the mix here. Daddy's Home 2, like we said. But Patriots Day, Transformers the Last Night, Mile 22, Spencer Confidential all come out within like a few years of each other. And all of those are like not great, right? Like,
All horrible.
I
Even
mean, it
after that.
doesn't.
And it doesn't get any better. It never gets better from there. Infinite, horrible. Fucking Me Time, horrible. The
What even is
Union,
Infinite?
Infinite. It's this just shitty sci-fi movie. Fuck, what was it about? It was like these like warriors that get like reincarnated throughout time and like are always just like doing battle. It's so bad.
It sounds terrible. It
It's
sounds
it's
like yeah, that's exactly the kind of movie I was looking for here too, where like he's just in his Vin Diesel arc at that point.
yeah.
Where like there's enough like people out there who are like, hey, Mark Wahlberg was like a warrior. It's gonna be great.
Then he culminates it this year with Flight Risk.
Yeah. Like there is I'm trying to think like what the Vin Diesel movie was, but it wasn't that long ago. And I remember being like, there's no way anybody wants to see this movie, right? Like there's no way that anybody is like falling for this. And then like I remember it was like it must have been around a holiday because I saw like my older brother and one of his friends, and his friend was like, "Dude, let's go see that new Vin Diesel movie." You know what I mean? Like he was like he just hit this point where like it didn't matter like what the movie was.
The
Like
Bloodshot.
they were totally gonna go see like I think he played like a hitman in it or some shit. Like who can even tell like them apart? You know what I mean? Like it must have been Bloodshot. Yeah, it must have been. But
How
I can't
recently
think.
was this, do you think?
It was pretty recent, like probably before COVID, but definitely after the last Witch Hunter, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
well, I
It
mean,
must have been Bloodshot,
his
yeah.
only movies outside of fucking just Fast and Furious and Marvel is the Triple X Return of Xander Cage and Bloodshot.
Yeah, it must have been Bloodshot. Yeah, like it hits the point where it's like again, like Bloodshot, here's the line for this. Could literally be any Vin Diesel movie. Ray Garrison, a slain soldier, is reanimated with superpowers. That's literally all it says here. And
Amazing.
like, yeah, like Mark Wahlberg definitely hits that point in his career where they're just like somebody out there is like, dude, we gotta go see the new Marky Mark movie. It's fucking great. He plays like a cop or something. Like,
He just you hit that spot. You just settle into your wheelhouse, and that's all you do.
yeah, I guess.
Thankfully, we don't have to show up for it. If it's on streaming, I don't have to click play.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
Oh yeah. Well, I think that's all I got. You got anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I think that's it. Nothing really much else left to say. I am kind of curious what Ebert thought about this movie. I'm not
Oh,
going to give it any drop because I'm kind of like middle of the road,
you're
honestly.
not. Oh, no drop. Well, all right. If you had to guess, what do you think the Ebes gave?
I think he gave it a good score. I think he's going to buy into the existentialism of it.
Well, you would be wrong. Raj gave this 2 stars. He
Oh, yeah, that's
was
not bad.
Yeah. He wrote individual moments and lines and events in I Heart Huckabees are funny in and of themselves. Viewers may be mystified, but will occasionally be amused. It took boundless optimism and energy for Russell to make the film, but it reminds me of the Buster Keaton short where he builds a boat but doesn't know how to get it out of the basement.
Dang. Ebert, once again, just like
Distilling
says
it
exactly what
to
I was thinking, just like in much better words. Because, yeah, I agree with that. Like, it is like more individual parts of it that like really hit, like, as opposed to like the whole thing as a whole.
all right. So let's hear it, Jim. Final thought, final rating.
She said fuckabees. It's like funniest line in movie history. She said fuckabees. And he like whispers it because he doesn't want anybody else to hear him say it. It's so good. No, I'm kind of like in lockstep with Ebert. I would give it like a 2 out of 5, like maybe like a 2.5. Like I liked it, but I'd like overall like it's not as good as I remember. Like there's parts about it I liked more this time around, but overall I feel like I really bought into like way too much of it when I was a kid. It's like I would say like 2.5 like tops.
2.5. All right. Yeah, and I'm right behind that. I'm going to give it a 2. I didn't particularly enjoy this movie, but I appreciate the functionality of it and the like I think the performances are good in it. And like we said, there's moments in it that are enjoyable. I just wish like the execution of the script got me a little bit more invested into this, so that I really could have like sunk my teeth into it. But it's not like horribly made; it's adequately made at least. So I'll give it a 2. So with a 2 for me and a 2.5 from you, Jimbo, going to give us an overall score of a 4.5. And we're gonna do some battles, some 4.5s here. Do you take I Heart Huckabees? Wow, once again, before we go into these, every single one of our 4.5s, I gave twos for, and you gave 2.5s.
Interesting.
Interesting how that shakes out. All right, so do you take I Heart Huckabees or do you take Chris Rock's Head of State?
I Heart Huckabees.
I would take Head of State. Uh,
Begrudgingly, I think I Heart Huckabees. I think that Head of State was another one. Like when I went back to it, I was kind of like, this wasn't as funny as I remember actually.
Yeah, no, definitely still, yeah, definitely not great, but I still would. I'd much rather sit through Chris Rock and Bernie Mac's shenanigans again in this movie. All right, do you take I Heart Huckabees or do you take the Manchurian Candidate from 2004?
I'll take the Manchurian Candidate all day.
Yeah, I would take the Manchurian Candidate also.
I still stand like if we were able to just like rate like 45 minutes of a movie, the first 45 minutes of Manchurian Candidate, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, whatever you want to say, like spectacular, and then it just like really goes off the rail. But like I
Me,
would watch it again, like just to watch that first 45 minutes again, because I really do think it's like masterful.
it's incredible how quickly that torpedoed. Uh, do you take I Heart Huckabees or Club Dread?
I Heart Huckabee.
I would take Club Dread. I don't. I did. I won't say mine for it because I would take any of the movies I'd say over I Heart Huckabees at this point. Do you take I Heart Huckabees or Martin Lawrence's Black Knight?
Black Knight.
Yeah, yeah, Black Knight, easy. And
If
then the
only
King.
for like the drive-through scene when he's like trying to like explain to them why they need a drive-through for like dead rabbits. So funny.
It's got like the plans for it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he's
sort
like
of like
trying
the
to explain it
blueprints.
to him. He's like wearing like a Nike like sweatsuit.
Incredible. And then last but not least, the king of the 4.5s. You taking I Heart Huckabees or you taking Colin Farrell's SWAT?
Oh, SWAT. Yeah, definitely SWAT.
SWAT, easy win right there. All right, so I Heart Huckabee is going to settle in the number 67 spot in between the Manchurian Candidate and Head of State. So settle right in there with some of those middle of the road movies, and I think that's a decent spot for it. All right, what are we doing? What are we doing now for next week, Jim? There's two other movies from this weekend. Where are we going next? We were doing Ladder 49 or Shark Tale?
Yeah, let's do Ladder 49. Let's save the coup de grace because I think Shark Tale opens the highest, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think they might take the weekend. So yeah, so Ladder 49 for sure. Wow, I don't can't tell. I think the last time I watched Ladder 49 was when we watched that in theaters. So that'll be interesting to go back and do.
Yeah, I don't remember much about it. I know it's got Joaquin Phoenix and John Travolta, I think, is the other person.
I remember Joaquin Phoenix being in it, and I remember it feeling very much like a PSA for just become a firefighter. Like it felt very much just like an advertisement to become a firefighter.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if it holds up to Backdraft.
If it hits, yeah, we'll. Oh, yeah, good point. Very good point. We'll see. What was the last thing you jammed on?
I watched like a bunch of different stuff recently. I watched Cabin in the Woods again because my girlfriend had never seen it.
Great movie.
Really great movie. I watched the second Evil Dead movie, like the original, like Evil Dead 2.
What are you? You guys are in spooky season right now? Spooky mode?
Yeah, it's spooky mode. Exactly. It's
Right,
October
spooky
almost.
mode.
And
Yeah, I was just saying a
then
little out, but almost.
I'm trying to think. There was one other thing that I was watching like TV wise that I wanted to bring up, but I can't remember what it was.
I'm
Yeah,
shocked
I'm
you
not
haven't
sure.
gone in on your Twisted Metal yet.
I watched the first episode, and I'm not gonna lie, it didn't have quite the same luster as season
Mm.
one did.
Uh-uh.
Like, it was dragging its feet a little bit, is how
Uh-uh.
I would put it. It was like
Honeymoon phase is
it did
over.
what a lot of streaming shows do, which is they were like, "Oh man, people like really like this. Like, we should make it a lot deeper." And it's like, "Well, no, actually, like, kind of what I liked about it is that it like wasn't deep at all. Actually, that was like the best part was that I
Sure.
didn't have to really like pay attention or sink my teeth into anything." So,
Also, like, how deep do we have to get on a show? Fucking Twisted Metal. Like, come on.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was still a good first episode though. I'm definitely gonna watch the rest of the season. Like, Will Arnett is like hilarious still as
Me too.
like I don't know. Are you ever gonna watch it?
Dude, I am going to watch it.
Okay.
If there's one show that you've convinced me on all of these to do, it will be Twisted Metal.
Yeah, because
I
I don't want to give
promise
too
I'm going to
much
get
away.
to it.
But like the first episode, Will Arnett is like keeps hearing about like people who are like the biggest, baddest like killer out there. And then he goes and kills them, and then they're like, "Oh my God, you must be like, you know, Baby John." And he's like, "Wait, who's Baby John?" Like, it's
He's
like
just sent on
every
an
time he goes to
exodus of
kill
killing
somebody, they
somebody.
think there's like somebody even bigger and badder out there. So he's like, "Oh, I gotta go kill that person now." Like,
He's just killing his way up the food chain.
yeah. But yeah, it's still good. I have a feeling that like the first episode was doing a lot of like ground setting, and then I think the rest of the season is going to be pretty balls to the walls. So fingers crossed.
All right. I will watch it, I promise.
What about you? What have you been jamming on?
What was it? I just watched the latest Spike Lee movie that dropped on Apple TV, Highest to Lowest, with Denzel Washington. It's a remake of Ikiru, I think is how it's pronounced, the Kira Kurosawa movie. It was
Okay.
actually pretty good. It was actually
Oh
surprisingly.
wait, is that the one with like the samurai?
Oh, no,
Which one are you? Which one am I thinking of?
Seven Samurai, maybe.
No.
Hidden Fortress. A lot of his movies. This is like one of the few movies of his that isn't around samurai.
Oh no, you're right. It is a different one. What the heck was the one I was thinking of?
I don't know. He's a Throne of Blood, Rashomon,
Not Rashomon. It wasn't Yojimbo
Ran,
either. What the heck was
Ran.
this movie? I don't know. Keep going.
You'll
Tell me
listen.
about it though. Was it any good?
It was surprisingly good. The second half way better. It had the opposite of the Manchurian Candidate, where like it was like the first half was kind of like like this is okay, not like fantastic. Like I kind of like that performances in it outside of Denzel and Jeffrey Wright are like atrocious in this movie.
Huh.
But once it hits the like middle point where like it really sets into motion what it's been building up, it is fantastic. And the rest of the movie is an absolute thrill ride. But Denzel and Jeffrey Wright definitely help you get to that point because like in that first like hour, like I want to say like maybe like 40 to 45 minutes, I was kind
How
of like, oh,
long is it?
it's 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that first 45 minutes, I was kind of like, oh, dude, I don't know if I'm gonna make it through this whole thing. This is pretty like his wife in particular is like one of the worst actors. Like she's so bad in it. And I was like, she's definitely here just because she's gorgeous. Like she is gorgeous, but man, could she not act.
Interesting. Okay.
But then once
By
like
the
the
way,
movie actually kicks off, it's fantastic.
the Kurosawa movie I was thinking of was Sanjuro.
Of course, that one.
How could you
Yeah. Only
forget
the ninth.
Sanjuro?
Yeah. But basically he's a music mogul and someone kidnaps his son and another kid, his like nephew, and like they go through the whole thing waiting for like they find out they got a ransom in it and everything. And then his son turns up and it turns out that they kidnapped the wrong kid. They kidnapped the nephew, but not his son. So now Jeffrey Wright's character, who's like his like best friend or whatever, whose nephew is the one who got kidnapped, is like, are you still gonna like they still want the ransom? And he's like, well, that's not my kid. He's like, I'm not gonna pay this money before like a mistaken identity. Like it's not my kid. So like the whole thing is like going through the fact that like Denzel Washington's character is like kind of like a piece of shit because it's just like now that his son's okay, he's still not gonna pay the ransom, even though it's like his like nephew technically. Like
So is it Jeffrey Wright's kid and Jeffrey
yeah,
Wright is his brother?
Yeah, well, that it doesn't seem that like Jeffrey Wright's his brother, but like they make it that like they're like super close. Like it might be like they say it's his nephew, but like it's not actually his nephew, but like he's been around so long that like they're just like a part of the family. Because they never play it that like the two of them are brothers, but yet Denzel Washington's kid calls Jeffrey Wright Uncle Paul.
Okay, but
Like
they're
one of
like
those things where it's
friends.
like,
They're like, yeah, like it's not like your blood uncle, but like you
yeah,
gotta call him something because he's
yeah.
one of your
But so
family.
basically, like he's trying to get out of paying it now that it's not his kid anymore. But like everyone's like, no, like you have to do it, otherwise, like you're a piece of shit. Like you're like a music mogul. Like if you don't do this, like the internet's gonna destroy you. Like your business is done. So like he reluctantly agrees to do it, and like through the process of like going through the motion of trying to pay the ransom, like he slowly grows to become like a better person.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I was so in, but then like the way you just described it right now sounded like kind of terrible. I don't know.
No, like the second half, like once like they actually start to go through it, like the him having to pay off the kidnappers and everything, it's actually like really good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see where that would be interesting if it's like that John Travolta movie Ransom for the second half.
Yeah.
Right?
With John
Wasn't it John
Travolta.
Travolta in
No,
that?
isn't
Or
that
is it
Mel
Mel
Gibson?
Gibson? Yeah,
Mel
Mel
Gibson.
Gibson.
I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, wait,
I
what?
mean, they're the same person. Let's be real. I mean, one was in Ransom, one was in Broken Arrow. What's the difference? Is what I ask.
Oh, Broken
But
Arrow. What a classic.
yeah. But no, I mean, like I could see that where if like the second half of it is kind of like that kind of a thriller where it's like, all right, now take your shirt off, take the bus down to 48th Street and get off and like call me from the payphone, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. No, yeah, it is that. It ends up being like really good once it like starts to like set itself into motion. So definitely worth a watch. Good movie. Enjoyable stuff. And that's all we got for you people. Go out, watch these movies for yourself, form your own opinions as always, and join us here next week when we dive into Ladder 49, baby, a John Travolta
God,
classic.
can't wait.
And as always, we'll see you at the movies.